Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Bebop here. Today's video is going to be about the Hive of Gorgons boss fights. Now, I'm going to go over each boss, the mechanics, and what you need to look out for as a new player. What you see on the screen here is a list of all the different attacks that each of the three bosses do. We're going to start off with Enchinda or Enchinda, whatever his name is on the far right. We call him Enchinda around here. He does all light and heavy coated attacks. If the boss does elemental damage, it is coded as ranged and magic. So you can look under the Broodmother Medusa. She does a few attacks that are ranged and magic coded. That means elemental aversion could help you on that boss fight. It's like less than 3% of the dungeon, so you don't need to bother with elemental aversion. Enchanted Ward would be the best perk and main perk you should have. And you want to have that on as many items as you can as far as your clothing goes. So the more the better. 5 would be the max, but if you got 3 or more, you're good. If you got less than 3, not good, okay? Now, can you get through it without that? Yes, but that would help protect you the most. Angry Earth Ward Pots, Angry Earth Conings, Honing Stones, your Angry Earth major trophies in your home. You should have 3 homes by this point if you're getting into the Hive, which is in-game, in New World. You need to have 3 homes with combat trophies. Now, it could be all blue combat trophies or green. At least have 3 combat trophies with 3 homes, okay? And so if you have all green trophies in your home, that's going to give you a 9%. If you have all the blue ones, you're going to get a 12%. And if you have all the majors, then that's going to give you 15%. In this dungeon, you got Angry Earth, which is 99% of it. You do have Beast, which are some of the spiders and rats, but Angry Earth coatings and Ward Pot is what you need throughout the whole dungeon. Enchinda does a lot of strike damage, so you want to have an amulet with strike protection on it, which is going to give you 15% resistance to strike damage. You also want to have strike damage protection gems, cut pristine jaspers in your clothing. You could have a separate DPS set or healer set or tank set coming into this boss fight. But what you're seeing here is us on the hardcore server. This was our Unfallen run. So we had really high con, but we have all the artifacts at once. So the damage is going to be well made up for it. Usually you don't want to be more than 100 con. If you're DPS here, you want to be in light so you can do more damage. And then you want to be in melee, you know, majority of the time to do more damage. But that's up to you to figure out your group comp and what makes it work. With this group, we have a lot of different rends coming from all over the places, different weapons, weakens, dot damage, which is damage over time effects. And so this group damage is still pretty good. Now, it's not as good as our regular servers where we're really low con and pushing a lot more damage, but it is pretty good. So the boss is going to start off jumping down and stomping. Anytime he stomps like that, does an AoE, area of effect damage hit to you, a little strike damage. So you will learn to dodge that over time. Once you get hit by it enough, you should be able to dodge it and really not be hit much in this fight. That tail whip, you just got to hold block. You will not be able to dodge that. You will have to hold block. If you are moving backwards while holding block, you can still take damage. So try to just hold block and stand still. Get ready to take your regen pot right after that and then move forward. He will shoot spikes out just like this. You don't need to worry about them if you're with a public group that is very low damage, because until the boss is under 50% health, these will not pop. So what I mean is the boss won't stand up and do the mechanic where he makes them all blow up and one-shot everybody. So we already know we're going to be below 50% on the first down phase. Once you break his stamina, he will fall down. You get access to his back and you will be doing a lot of damage there. Now, when he gets up, you are back in the weakened state. So you have perma weaken when you're down here on ground level. If you're up on the 3rd story pillars, you will have the weaken effect removed and you will be able to do more stamina damage and overall damage. But if he knocks you down to 2nd floor or whatnot, you're back to the weakened state. Now, you saw how he stood up. He blows up the pillars. If there was any spikes still left on the ground, he would blow those up and it would basically one-shot. Be very careful if you're in charge of killing these spikes because they will pop. You need to learn that by the time a boss does a jump or 2, these will most likely pop. You need to back up because they can really one-shot you and also root you, which means you would not be able to move. And it lasts for about 8 seconds. It's a pretty long route. Now, what we like to do here in this group is send out a rapier to the left and rapier to the right, and then we have 2 range guys kind of turn and range from the boss, and then they can help out on anything that's a real far distance while the other 2 are going to kill the spikes. That way everybody else can stay on the boss and continue damage. Now, what you've seen here is our dots staying for a very long time. You see my fire damage and some other damage staying for a very long time. That is because the flail is being used from one of the healers to extend debuffs by 30% constantly. Really important to have in a group comp. I'll go over group comp in a different video, but yeah, let me go over a little bit more of the boss fight. I'll rewind some of that. I know we kind of sped through that, but let's go over it again and we'll start from the beginning. All right, so here we are at the very beginning. The boss will jump down from the wall ledges up top, and it will immediately do a stomp to establish his dominance, but we're going to take that away from him. So he will always stomp, and then rocks will come up. Those rocks do a lot of strike damage, so make sure you're in the middle. There is a safe spot in the middle early on in the fight where you can stand. That's where a lot of us will be standing doing damage. If you are on the side and find yourself about to be hit by one of the rocks, you can dodge or double dodge. If you're new and you're learning the timing, double dodging will be better than single dodging. And that way you just dodge right through the rocks and their attack. You don't need to back up and run away and, get scared. You just stay in there and keep doing damage and learn the timing. The tail whip, you need to block. There's no dodging that. Block. That's it. Now, you want to be on the side of the Oblivion. If it's down in your lobby, don't be on the opposite side like I was right there. When the spikes fall down, if your squad's going to be making the boss go below 50% health, and just maybe you want to keep it in your mind just to attack the spikes anyways, go after them in a hurry, because if the boss stands up when he gets below 50% health and pops those, they will kill you, okay? It'll explode the whole arena and you'll be dead. Now, the stamina bar is about to break. You need to make sure you're waiting to see what side he falls. Drink your empowering toast potion. Get in there and do as much damage as you can. If you're in charge of Oblivion, healers, you need to make sure that is down and ready, so everybody can just max empower themselves and get to doing damage. Right here, he's below 50%, so he will stand up and try to explode any pillars and spikes that are left and then reset them. So now we got more spikes. Right here, I was a little hesitant if they wanted the spike people to go out of the group and go ahead and hit the spikes, or stay in the clump so the boss isn't jumping away from them so they can do more damage. So there was a little bit of hesitation there. Usually you're just going to run to spikes, but you also mainly need to watch for the dodge of the slam. So when he's jumping, you need to dodge when he's like in midair. Okay, I'm playing right now in the EU in this video, so I have to dodge a little bit earlier than what you would dodge on a normal server where you don't have about 160 ping. So keep that in mind. But you need to keep an eye on the boss when you're going to spikes. Don't be so zoned in that you're going to try to kill the spikes and not pay attention to the boss, because 99% of people get killed on the jump phase here in this fight. All the other mechanics are really easy to dodge and see, but when people see the spikes, they just run blindly there, and next thing you know, the boss is jumping and they're getting killed. So you should be able to dodge or flurry through, use grit, whatever weapon you're using, that way you don't get pushed back by all the slams, because that's a loss of DPS time. And that's pretty much that boss fight in a nutshell. Hopefully that's explained pretty well. If you maybe need a longer fight, I can try to get it with a public group, make it a real long fight, and we can really go over a lot more mechanics. Because this group right here that I was running with, they really have the group comp down, where we're having a lot of Ren, we're having a lot of Weaken, and we're having a lot of damage even with high con and in medium gear. Trying to be safe here on the Unfallen server. Well, that's going to wrap up this video for the first fight. Stay tuned for the next video, which I'll go over the second fight in depth, and then the third video, which will be the last boss fight and things that can help you out in there. There's some key things you need to know about the second and third boss fight that will make it a lot easier for you, and I'll go over in that, so feel free to stay tuned. If you're new here, I stream usually every day on Twitch. You can just look up my name on there or check out my YouTube. The link's there also.
And if you're new here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to, if you found the information helpful. And I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day and good luck out there.